You know, everyone, Johnny, it seems like only 5 minutes ago we were interviewing. What's
I,
going on?
I, I don't know. We're in some sort of time warp. I feel like I'm one of the tomorrow people or something. I was Back to the Future or something.
Back to the Future. I don't know. It's crazy. Karen Fox from Australians for Australia, also known as Karen Fox from Australia Exit the Who. Welcome to Club Grubbery. I think we are still, John, are we?
I think so. We're,
I,
we haven't
I
changed
hope
our
you're
name
still Club Grubbery and welcome yourselves. I'm very glad to be here.
And of course, everyone ecstatic about the news that Michael Gray Griffith came through his surgery. Um, these things happen for a good reason. I've always said that Australia needed the COVID pandemic to give it a kick in the backside to wake itself up. And all these things happen in our lives for good reason. So, welcome back, Michael. And we look forward to much more coming from you. So, we have we have been interviewing a few political candidates, hoping to get Malcolm Roberts to come on to talk about One Nation. Um, and we're hoping to get a few more candidates on. We need to get Gap on if we can with Rod Cullerton. So we get everybody a bit of an opportunity to work out who's who in the zoo. But is this election, given that everyone's fed up with Teals, Greens, LNP, and Labor, is this election about voting for the people who have the right preferences set up before the election? Tell us more.
I don't think we should be voting for the people that have the right preferences. We should be voting for the right people. So, Australians for Australia is all about directing people to better quality candidates. We just want to get better people into Parliament. We have a set of core values that all of the people that we have put on our website, and we're now up to 150 candidates, are sticking to and have signed up to support. And we're really not that fussed about the stripes that they're wearing. We're more interested in what each of those candidates stand for. And the other important thing for everyone to remember about preferences are that they are your own. Nobody does deals with your preferences. You're the one who numbers the boxes. And that's why it's more important than ever that you've done your research before you walk into that ballot box and you know exactly who you're voting for. You know your Teals from your Greens, you know your common sense candidates from all of the rest.
Absolutely right. And you're probably going to want to show some stuff on the screen. Do you want me to allow you to share screen?
Yeah, that'd be super if you can.
All right, we'll do that. Bear with me. Johnny.
Well, first of all, Karen, it might be good just to get a bit of an understanding about what your website is and what it does, and perhaps I mean people would be pretty familiar on our program with stuff that Joel Jamal does at Turning Point. So what's the differences in what you're doing compared to what they're doing? Just what are the little nuances? Just a bit easier to sort of navigate, or because I mean Joel goes very in depth into the mechanics of it all.
I suppose we're not as much about the mechanics as we are about people. So we really want to try and assist people to find the better candidates in their electorate and to also lead them to those better candidates. So the website is set up for you to be able to search your own electorate in the lower house and your state in the upper house so that you can then click on, go straight to the website of the people that are in your electorate that we've already vetted to say, yes, they stand for the core values, which are very simple. They are that these people don't have allegiance to overseas NGOs and entities like the UN, WEF, and WHO, that they believe that democracy is free speech. They are for Australians and the family, and they believe in equal rights for everyone. That includes no discrimination and no reverse discrimination. So it sounds like a very simple set of core values, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people in Parliament that are working against those ideas. So we're trying to bolster the number of people that do believe in these things, that believe in standing up for Australians, that don't believe that globalist entities should be helping make decisions or making decisions in our parliament. So we really are just trying to be a conduit to try and educate people how to use their vote well. And there's more than just red and blue. And of course, every mainstream news article that tells you you can vote for this guy or that guy, leaving out every other party, is reinforcing this sort of self-fulfilling prophecy that we only have the duopoly, and also that your vote, if it's not on one of those two parties, is totally wasted, which is completely incorrect. And there's a lot of other reasons that, especially at the moment, we need to be supporting these smaller parties.
And is there a QR code or something that you can load down, or what do you do? I mean,
so the website is australiansforaustralia.net.au. So it's that simple. And then you can go in and have a look. It's got a very easy search on it. I was just trying to share screen and had a bit of initial trouble trying to find exactly the right place. But I've got all my other tabs open here.
While you're doing that, Karen, can you tell me who I'm going to be voting for in New England? Barnaby Joyce's.
Well, we have a FON candidate, so One Nation candidate, who is a local here this time. We did have a ghost candidate last time around, but we can definitely vote for our New England candidate. She says, trying to find, his name is Brent Larkham, and he's a long-time local. We are working with Family First as well, so we are trying to get Family First on board as well. I'm just still dealing with that candidate. So there's two very good options in the New England.
Sounds good, because Barnaby Joyce. Look, he's, in all honesty, Johnny, he has said, "Will I even go there?"
Yeah, why not, Hoodie?
Look,
well,
come on,
Barnaby's been tremendous on the renewables.
Yeah.
He also signed a letter the letter that was put to the Prime Minister saying that we shouldn't be involved in the IHR regulations and pandemic treaty. He was one of 14. But he was also the Prime Minister when we signed up to net zero at Glasgow. And the Nationals are still supporting, or we will say the Liberals and National Coalition are still supporting what I call the net zero suicide note. It's both economic suicide and environmental suicide. And as long as you're a part of the people that are pushing that, I don't think that you're serious about lowering the cost of living issues that we're having at the moment. You're actually encouraging them. And until we drop net zero and think seriously about the things that are most important to getting our economy back on track, there's a problem as far as a lot of people are concerned. And this was also born out of the votes last year. There was a lot of bills rammed through Parliament with the support at times of the Coalition. We had the MAD bill, which was originally sponsored by the Coalition. We have the under 16 social media vote, which a lot of people see as a Trojan horse for digital ID. So there's still a lot of privacy issues that the Coalition are involved in. And we feel that some of these other parties, if they can get more members in Parliament, they can at least hold the majors to account. And at the moment, that's not happening. These bills being rammed through the Parliament are definitely not the way the Senate was intended to work, not hundreds of them at a time.
Okay, so how are you going with your share screen?
Yeah, I'm having no luck with the share screen. I'm not sure exactly why. I don't know if Zoom's not playing nicely. I can see share screen and I can see all of my tabs.
I've given you permission.
Yeah, it's saying that I can. It's not giving me the chance to see.
While you sort that out, Karen, I mean, a question. Like I know you said there earlier, I mean, we need to vote for the people we need to vote for, but do the preferences tell us, you know, in some way where these people are likely to wind up if they get in? And I'll give you an example of this. Now, I'll put it to everyone out there that this Family First is a puppet for the Liberal Party. We look at the seat of Monash and Russell Broadbent. Now, I've just looked at their how to vote card. for Family First. They are putting the Liberal candidate second, Russell Broadbent third. Now, to me, that stinks.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was an issue, I believe, with Family First, and there's a lot of other members of the party around the country that are not happy with that deal that was done. Part of the issue with the smaller parties is that they do have zero funding, that they are scrambling with volunteers to try and put everything in place. I believe someone that was well-meaning thought that that was a good idea, but it's ended up not being ideal and not necessarily supported by the rest of the party across Australia. And again, that's why we're emphasising that people need to do their research, have a look at the people on your ballot, understand a little bit about them. Obviously, the party that they're from will give you a guide, but if you're thinking of putting them, especially in the number one position, find out a little bit about them, what they stand for, if you think they're believable or not. And obviously that's part of what the guide that we're trying to get to on Australians for Australia is about. The other thing that we're really trying to educate people on is exactly how to use that preferential system, because there's still so many wives' tales about, oh, this person can do this with your preferences, which is completely incorrect, because you are the one who controls those preferences. Yes, the parties all put out a how to vote because there is a preferred way that they would like you to vote, that they believe gives them the best chance of success, but you do not have to follow that. And there is not, once you've written your numbers in those boxes, another contentious issue, but yes, we suggest that you take a pen, and it is legal for you to take a pen when you vote, is that once you've written those numbers in the boxes, you have to number every box. You can't double up any numbers. This is the lower house, you have to number every box. Those preferences are handed out in accordance to your wishes that are written on that ballot paper. So I believe that it's advantageous to the majors to muddy the waters, to talk about all these preference deals, like there's a lot of backroom things that have happened that you as a voter can't control. And I think that's because the default position for most people, if they're confused, if they're not sure how to put in a protest vote or do something different, is to revert to what they've always done. And that's exactly what the majors want you to do. They want you to be too scared to go elsewhere and go, well, I've got to vote the way I voted for 30 years or the way that my grandparents voted. I think we're past that. I think it's time that we had a look at the options that are out there and tried to give a little bit more leeway to some of these smaller parties. Again, it depends on every person's, as far as the lower house goes, every individual electorate, it depends on what your options are and who you've got in your electorate that you trust to be. And again, this is about who you think can run your electorate for the best advantage of the people that are there. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration. In the Senate, it's not as complicated. And the most wonderful thing in the Senate this year, and we hope we've had a little tiny bit to do with this, is the joint tickets that are being run between some of the freedom parties. So we have a joint ticket in New South Wales that's headed by Craig Kelly, who's standing for Libertarians, and that's also joined by the Hart Party and Gerard Rennick's party. We have a joint ticket in the ACT. We have a joint ticket in Queensland in particular. So that means we've got those parties of common sense working together. So it's really important, if you've got one of those joint tickets, if you can number that number one, that gives all of those guys a really good chance. I believe the story last election was that there was more than enough votes on the right or the common sense side to get a representative in the Senate in every state. But because of the fracturing of the vote, that didn't happen. And that's why it's really important, if you can, to preference the freedom-friendly parties first. And then we have suggested in the Senate tailing your vote with Liberal or Coalition to avoid that vote either expiring or to avoid the vote expiring, and to make sure that if all of those other parties that you really want to get in do not get your vote, you have a vote then for the Coalition, which is a countermeasure to try and stop the Greens, Teals and Labor getting in those seats. So That's a suggestion if you agree with that. Now, some people might not think the next best option is the coalition. We think that they're a better option than the Labor Party, in having dealt with them over some time now, that the coalition politicians are allowed a little bit of free thought, whereas the Labor politicians are not allowed to step outside the lines or use their own initiative at all. And we found that that's a really big issue. So there's a lot of nuance in that. We are releasing, we have already released our good, bad and ugly voting card, which has gone gangbusters on social media. And that's grouping the good parties at the top, the not so bad, we call them, in the middle, and the bad at the bottom. Tonight, we will be releasing our Senate how to votes in every state so that people can try and get their head around those. But like every other party, we're not a party, but we are helping advise people. We are giving this as advice. Nobody has to stick to it. And our bottom line is learn what's going on, do a little bit of research, and your vote is your own.
Tell me,
I will go on, John.
Who's running on that joint ticket in Queensland?
The joint ticket in Queensland is Gerard Rennick and the Katter Party.
Okay. Pretty good choice.
Yep, certainly is.
I've got a lot of time for
Especially if you're regional and you're not happy with the renewables debacle, which is causing us great angst here at the moment.
Absolutely. Johnny.
Yeah, I think that's a remarkable step forward in this year's voting cycle, that these freedom parties have come together above the line in the Senate, because I think that's where we're going to hold back trouble. As Don Chip said, keep the bastards honest. Well, I think if there was any point in history that we needed to keep these bastards honest, it's 2025. I mean, with the interview we did with Trevor Loudon, Hoodie, on Albo, I mean, that should send shivers up people's spines about what we can expect. And if we end up with the Teals and the Greens having further manipulation over the Labor Party to form a government, we are in desperate times, probably unheard of times in Australia's history. So it really is a really important vote to ensure that you get it right in the Senate. And I mean, it might be worth, Woody, I'm just thinking, it might be worth for us to reach out to Topher and maybe do a 20-minute special on not wasting your vote. I mean, because I don't know how many people I speak to, they still don't understand how to vote. They don't get it. And I suppose that's why these how to vote cards are a necessary evil, because I think that the amount of informal votes would go through the roof if people didn't follow what was on the form. I mean, so many people just go in there and tick one box, or completely do the wrong thing. They vote, informally. So it's got to be. I spoke to some people in the coffee shop today, and they hardly could even speak English. And they're from Sydney, and I said, "Who are you voting for?" They had no idea. So it is a real worry.
Yeah, I think that there's a few other points I'd like to make too, that this was born out of, so one of our taglines is bringing back hope. And a lot of us have been dwelling obviously on what's wrong for far too long. And so we're all about solutions and trying to empower people to use their vote. We believe that silence is consent, and that any campaigns that are telling you not to vote or to boycott the vote are just not helpful. Our bottom line on that is, if everything's rigged, how did the voice get defeated? And that's because 60% of Australians said, no, we don't trust this and we don't believe in it. So we definitely want the voice. The 60% of people that voted for the voice, I believe, have no firm political party to vote for at the moment, or believe they don't. So we're trying to introduce them to the parties that might stand for them, where the majors have always voted for have not. I will also add, we do have some Liberal and National candidates from Queensland on our group of call them the good guys, who have shown that there's a couple of sitting members who've shown that they do stand for our values by their votes in Parliament. So any sitting members that are on our site have voted what we believe is in support of all non-surveillance and freedom measures. And there's also another candidate that's running for the Liberal and National Party who's shown that she's definitely on that page. So we have gone through the candidates as much as we can, as much as a group of volunteers can, by what they have put out there that they are on side with us. It is definitely a teal and green free zone and a Labor free zone. So you can trust that any of the independents that we're putting forward are not Teals. They're also not community independents. We were the, let's say, close cousin of the Teals, funded exactly the same way, that are again pretending that they have the community at heart when they have another agenda that's financing them. So we have tried to do a lot of work behind the scenes to try and help people find those candidates that really will stand up for them.
Can we get that good, the bad, and the ugly slide up on the screen? Johnny, have you got it at your end? I think I saw it on your Facebook page. So, based on everything that Trevor Loudon said to us in that interview, which is being, man, it's going through the roof. It's almost going viral, that interview with Trevor Loudon about Anthony Albanese. Did you see it at all, Karen?
Yes, I did. I listened to it yesterday as I was doing other things. So yes.
Does that frighten you?
A lot of things have been frightening me for the last 5 years. It was surprising, but not surprising, sadly.
Sadly, yeah. Come on, Johnny. No pressure.
Oh, hang on. I found something here. I might be on the right tab now.
Thank God for that, says Johnny.
Oh, yeah. Thank God for that. Can you now see Australians for Australia, guys?
Yep, we've got it. Good on you, Karen.
Okay. See, I got there eventually. So that's our House of Representatives. So you can select via any electorate you like. I'll pick one that, what do we do? We'll go to Victoria.
How about we go to Monash?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, we'll go to Monash. You want to go to Monash?
Yeah. Now this is good because we're seeing how it works now.
That's right. And you're seeing how slowly my brain's working. So there we go. We've got 2 candidates in Monash. I'll scroll that down. Jeff and Russell Broadbent. So we've got a Family First Party candidate and Russell Broadbent that, as we've discussed, Russell's a sitting MP who's proven his worth over a long time. Yep. So we've also got the Senate.
And is there any way of differentiating or letting people know there, Karen, that Jeff is actually preferencing Liberal over Russell?
Not in this system that we've got here, but yeah, I mean, it's obviously something that is a little bit of a concern. But again, it's probably worth people doing their research, and if they're happy with Russell so far down there, or if anyone that hasn't voted for him before, we can definitely recommend him. You can also check by your political party, so you can, for example, see what fond candidates you've got in a state.
So maybe we need to give them a gold tick or something.
So that's just in the Senate. We've got Warwick Stacey there in New South Wales. I'll go to our core values and people can have a little bit of a look on what those are. So they're very simple. They're very easily set out, and every candidate on the website has signed up to say they support these core values.
Can we have a look at the seat of McMahon? It would be great to see whether our mate Chris Bowen signed up.
I don't believe we've got Chris here, so we'll go and have a look.
Chris Bowen in McMahon. I doubt it.
There we go.
There's one face I don't want to see in politics ever again.
We haven't got any candidates currently in McMahon. I believe there's a couple that we're chasing. So if there's any candidates out here that support those core values and are from some of our freedom-friendly parties, please get back to us and we will get you added on.
Matt Cameron-Zurley should be champing at the bit to get onto.
He has been asked to come on, and we haven't got his paperwork back. We've been in contact with him, and we would love to support his attempt to dethrone Blackout Bowen. So definitely, Matt's been invited. Everyone is obviously very busy at the moment, and unfortunately, a lot of these candidates that have an open email get a lot of spam email as well. So just trying to get through the noise and actually get to them and be able to communicate has been a little bit of a difficulty.
Johnny, there's a mission for you.
Yeah, well, where does the email come from, Karen? Just for candidates that are watching tonight that want to get involved, what do they look out for in the email? Because you're right, I mean, they would get thousands of emails and these things get looked.
It's from Australians for Australia at protonmail.com. So if they can go and have a search for any emails along those lines. Every One Nation candidate, every People First candidate, a lot of selected independents have all been sent an email from us. And we're still waiting on a lot of them to get back to us. So we would like to add to them. We'd like to add to the candidates on the website. And our ideal is that we have a candidate in every electorate that we're supporting.
Can you maximise your screen for us, Karen, so we can see the whole thing?
It is on maximise. I've only got a small screen here.
Yeah.
So that's the main website. We've got. So the other thing that's important is that we have got our news page as well. So there's this article here called "Let's Talk About Preferences." And that has the graphic that we are talking about earlier in it. So I don't know if I can.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. That's the one.
That's the one. We'll see if this will come up now.
There we go.
There we go. So are you seeing that now, guys? Whoops.
Yep.
So yeah, we've got, I don't know if I can get that. There we go. So we've got our group of parties at the top. This doesn't include every party, and we've had a lot of flack that GAP isn't on this list, but this one was designed for the lower house, and the Great Australia Party doesn't have any candidates in the lower house. We're definitely supporting them in the Senate. But it just gives you a rundown on some of these better guys, the people that we would class in the middle, and the ugly are the ones that you definitely want to be putting at the bottom of your ballot.
Mm. Well, I've got to say, Karen, I mean, it would just from my point of view, any of those people in the good column, that preference number 2, any of the bad or the ugly over any of the good, should also be in the ugly.
Well, I don't know if we should demote them to ugly, but they definitely should be demoted to the bottom of the good pile. And again, you don't have to follow their how to vote cards. And this is what this is about. This is about not following their how to vote cards and voting for these guys accordingly. But if there's any of those parties that for whatever reason you're not happy with, you demote them as appropriate. And we're suggesting that the people in the good group that you choose, the ones that are in your electorate and that you want to support the most. We also have on the website places for, I'll just stop the share now. We also have places for people to volunteer if they would like to help out, if they're really enthusiastic about any of the candidates. You can volunteer to hand out flyers, and obviously the smaller parties are underfunded. They don't have the resources of the big guys. Something to remember as well, that if we don't get them more say this time around, there's already been legislation to lower the funding to the smaller parties. There's a real danger that the majors will legislate them out of existence by removing all funding to the smaller parties. And every first preference that you give to a minor, if they get over 4% of the vote across the country, they get a small amount of money that will fund them for future campaigns. So you're preferencing a minor means that that money will go to those smaller parties to make sure there is someone there to keep the bastards honest. If we all vote for red or blue, Liberal or Labor, all of that incentive goes to them, and the smaller guys are even pushed further back. So I think at the moment it's really important that we have some balance and we have some different voices in Parliament.
Well, there you go. It's a critical election, and there's no doubt about it. Johnny, final comments or question?
Well, no, look, all I'll say to people is, look, do your homework. These websites are a great tool. They're great advice. The leaflets that are handed out are the same, but ultimately, like, you can get caught out. And the perfect example is you might like this Jeff guy for Family First or whatever, not Family First, whatever they call themselves. Um, anyway, I can't remember what they're called, but anyway.
Yeah, they are Family First. You're right.
Family First, is it? Yep. So here we've got a perfect example. You think you're voting for the good people. I mean, you grab this bloke's leaflet and you go into the election hall and you follow the how to vote card that he's handed out to you and not think about it. And ultimately, your vote is now going to the Liberal Party over somebody like Russell Broadbent that has helped stood up for this.
Which is exactly why we've got our own how to vote, and we are working on trying to get people to think about it before they're there. What a lot of people can do as well is, of course, screenshot any of the how to votes and use that when you go into the ballot box. So that's a handy way to do things these days. Less paper flying everywhere, and obviously a lot of the young ones, that's what they will do. They will screenshot whatever they want. And a lot of people, I believe, are now not taking the handouts at the doorway because they've got their own stored on their phone, which is a pretty good way to do it.
That's a good idea. And news straight in. Russell Broadbent is happy to appear on this program with Sue Ellen Wrightson from A Trumpet of Patriots to discuss issues, and that'll be an interesting program, and we look forward to bringing that to you. Let's hope that comes about. So there you go. We've got to resolve some of these issues because we don't want good candidates to be lost because of bungling that's gone on around preferences.
Exactly. That's how complicated it is that some of the parties haven't even got it right. Even more reason to have a look at it yourself and decide in order who you want representing you in Parliament.
Well, thank you so much, Karen Fox, for all the effort you put in with Australia Exits the Who and now Australia for Australians, or Australians for Australia.
That's right.
That's it. It's just, it's people like you that keep the cogs of common sense going in the political arena, and it's so much needed now, John.
Oh, well, that's right, Hoodie. Look, I know from the Aligned Council the work that goes on with these guys. They're phenomenal, and you really can put down the fact that misinformation bill was stopped because of the efforts of people like Karen and the organisations that they are working for. It really is a magnificent team effort across the board, and that's why I'm so proud of what the Aligned Council is actually doing. In concert with all these guys. It really is a massive effort. Everyone on the same page, everyone working towards the goals. And look, we are not out of the woods yet. These IHRs are coming up in Geneva. They are going to be critical to this country going forward. That really is something that should be on everyone's radar. And take note of what's going on. Look for these politicians that are going to be in bed with these grubs in the WHO because they need to be ousted out the back door.
Time to go, Butler. Mark Butler.
Mark Butler, yes, everyone's non-friend. Yes, the pandemic treaty's been reworked. None of it is good for Australians, and there is no reason on earth that Australians should be being told by someone overseas, especially a non-elected bureaucrat who works for Big Pharma, what they should be doing with their health and how any kind of emergency should be handled. We should be doing that in-house in Australia, and that probably goes for a lot of other areas too.
What's this Mark Butler ever done? Has he ever struck a blow? Anyone know anything about him? He'd be another one of these.
He's shaking hands with Ted Ross.
Yeah, he's got an arts degree or something, has he?
His name came up among your last interview with the Search Foundation as
He
being
did.
a leader there.
He did. Well, Karen, it's people like you who do this tireless work behind the scenes who should be Australian of the Year. But the fact that you will never be Australian of the Year is an indication of how good your work is and why you should be.
Wear it as a badge of honour.
Where is the badge of honour?
I'll just let everyone know. So we're active on 4 different forms of social media: Facebook, Twitter, or X, whatever they call it now, Instagram and Telegram. And the website is Australians for Australia using for.net.au.
There you go. So that's what you need to do, folks. If you want to be educated, and you definitely need to be, this is what we need to do. Let's bring God into our close. Dear Lord Father in heaven, we thank you for the likes of people like Karen Fox and all those who work tirelessly on these committees, the ACA and others. Lord, we thank you for them, and we thank you for the people of Australia who are desperately trying to find alternatives to bring us all back to being the great Southland of the Holy Spirit. We ask that your Spirit will permeate through all of us with compassion and care. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Johnny, you've often been heard to say,
You just couldn't make this stuff up?
you can't. And we're not.
No.
So we've got Joel Jamal coming on to discuss election strategies. I think it's a great idea. We'll approach Topher Field, and hopefully we'll have Sue Ellen Wrightson from Trumpeter Patriots on with Russell Broadbent, and let's hope that there's some good news comes out of that. Karen, we'd love to hear more from you. Keep us in the loop, and thank you for appearing on Club Grubbery.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
Stay out of the trees, everyone. This is a great country because you live in it, so it's time to defend it. God bless you all, and bye for now.